earlier. Come on. Yep. That was weird. A Wi-Fi. I need to get my own Wi-Fi adapter instead of using just the house adapter. It is so quick to become such complete fickle so quickly. Let's see. Shoot first, think later. Wants to take the fight to the enemy. Dependable. Has a team first mentality. Always last to leave a fight. Now the question is, if I was to join a military unit or any kind of group that actively sees combat like this in real life, I wouldn't be just any one of these things. Like, I would want to be dependable, but also I would like to be methodical. I would train myself to be calm under pressure, but I also would train to be a survivor too. Because like these are all examples of any of these being like a core personality, but the question is like multiple of these. You're dependable, but also predictable. Outstanding mentality, a highly effective agent when focused. Oh, sweet, you can choose more than one. You don't want to be able to change your character's personal profile.
Bell, welcome to West Berlin. We've got a job to do.
Adler. Bell.
So we give our character a name, but they call him Bell anyways.
Let's get started.
So is Bell supposed to be like our code name then?
CIA and D.O.D. have found inside sources. Anything substantial. So far, there's no
MI6 has come up into hand as well.
We'll have to start somewhere.
Burger Town. The Burger Town logo looks a lot like Burger King. That's gotta be intentional.
Shit.
Sims. I thought that said Simps for a moment. Yeah, we back for now. But I don't know how long if the adapter's gonna stay working.
Bell, this is where you come in. We needed the best of the CIA inside. That's exactly why I arrested you. Head to the evidence board. Trace our steps to anything you could think of. Bell, you're looking a little pale. You up for this? I find that hard to believe. Coffee, Bell? You're on my team, get to know it. I need you shut up.
Slight delay echo going on the game audio, not the mic.
It'd be good for part here, Mr. Stan. Maybe we have overlooked something.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the games when they do that when I stream. Like sometimes it really is depending on what mic or earphones I'm using.
Safe house? I've done time here before. Years back. This go around? Just a few days now. As for Czar, he can't get enough safe houses. Done some jobs together. Good guy. Like him. Keeps things light. Replacing key intel up there. One for each mission. Forming connections. You just met her yesterday, right? I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Maybe you two have a special rapport. Keep professional, though.
Thanks, you fake Johnny Cage.
Be a stranger.
Huh.
I'm going to need to process some of those negatives.
You can hit that whenever you're ready. The dark room's most comfortable. Just waiting on a couple more clips to finish it up.
Ooh, so he's the weapons guy.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all saw how the way he was holding that gun and that rag was glitching a few seconds ago, right?
This one is luxury. Fresh air, lots of room.
Yeah, that kind of makes me think of Burger King, that logo. That has to be intentional.
You probably know more than me. I guess something top brass want to keep themselves. Working with the CIA over a decade. On our actual payroll? Going on about 5 years. I was born in D.C. Parents moved to Israel when I was a kid. Dual citizenship has advantages. Yup. I landed in the Israeli Defense Forces out of university. Did a tour there. After that, the Mossad. That's when I first started working with the CIA. Occasionally. Boss man ever. No.
Sims. Heavy. One sec.
Let's see, shotgun right there. Magnum. Well, the top was definitely a sniper. No, can I go outside? I'm trying to think. There was one Call of Duty game I played where it was literally just from the after one mission you immediately move on to the next. Well, Call of Duty World at War was like that, where it was literally just after you're done with one mission you move on to the next until you're done with the whole story. Seriously, if there's one thing I learned from a horror film is that something weird or creepy happens the first time, you just get the hell out of there.
How are things, Belle?
Ah, Blair must have left.
You and I. It's entirely possible. I have a long collaborative history with other intelligence services. I'll pop like at some point.
And how much you want to bet she's gonna betray the team later on? Because almost anything involving you working with the CIA or working as a spy or any kind of government group, in a movie they always, or any work of fiction, it's almost always the beautiful female with an accent who turns out to be a villain of sorts.
In this case, quite. I understand you may have first-hand knowledge that could help us.
I know I got some stuff downloading, and maybe that's part of why the stream isn't working like it should be. Cancel and delete. I don't want to cancel it. I just want to pause the dang thing.
It must be difficult, Belle. I can't claim to have experienced what you have. Perhaps going over it again could be therapeutic.
Vietnam? Man. Yeah, this is definitely in the... This supposed to be in the 70s?
Well, I'm keen to hear about your time in Indochina. So close to Perseus.
Okay, when the heck? Vietnam. Whoa, oh, okay. 1955 to 1975. So it did take place in the 70s, but it didn't start in the 70s. Dang, 1955. I thought it was closer around. I thought it was throughout the 70s, and I was way off. So kind of right in that parts of it did take place in the 70s, but that was more towards the end of the war took place in the 70s. Man, 55 to 75, whole 30 years. Let's see, Cold War started from 1947 to 1991. So that's 47, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 80. Ugh. Wait a minute, 40 years, and then from 87 to 91, 87, 88, 89. So wait, 44 years? I don't know why I'm confusing myself. 44 years. Wait a minute, what is the longest war the States has been involved with?
Not nearly as much as I'd like. I have experience with others like Perseus. They're all chess players.
Longest war in U.S. history.
We'll talk again soon.
Wait a minute, war in Afghanistan? From long lengths of U.S. combat forces participation in wars. War in Afghanistan, 19 years, 10 months. Vietnam War, 19 years, 5 months. Occupation of Haiti, 19 years. Dang, Afghanistan beat out Haiti by 10 months, and Vietnam by 5 months. Philippine American War and Moro Rebellion, 14 years. I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised that the world wars aren't in the immediate top 3. The war on ISIS is so far going on in the present. It started in 2014, and it's been going on for 9 years. Still ongoing though. American Revolutionary. Oh, the Iraq War, 8.7 years. Wait a minute. The United States only participated in World War II for 3.7 years. Wow, a lot shorter than I thought. The American Civil War was only 4 years. Oh, that's right. Technically, World War II was going on for a while already. So the World War was already going on for a while. It just wasn't until after Pearl Harbor that finally
I
the
wouldn't keep
U.S.
Adler waiting too long.
It was after what was it? Yeah, Pearl Harbor that the United States finally got involved. Use the evidence word to select the next mission, replay previous missions, or examine evidence. When you see this icon, yellow, new evidence is available that can assist you in the next mission and more. Okay, so yeah, Bell is basically our nickname. That's weird. Like, my middle name is Devontae, so seeing it written as Jason Bell Griffin is weird. Alex Mason, CIA operative. The president has authorized retaliatory hits on 2 Iranian terrorists. Man, look at that hair and them big old rounded glasses. The Brits and USSR. Okay, so this game takes place somewhere between 75 to 78, if not somewhere in the early 80s. That makes sense. Man, imagine that. You get done with the Korean War, but then you join another group that's getting involved in another war. Just never ended conflict. Wait, what's that first? Content not installed? What? Return to the safe house or quit to the main menu and ensure the remaining campaign packs are installed. How long it 7 hours? Man. All right, it's campaign 2. Campaign. And I gotta finish campaign 3 to get. I thought campaign meant like, I don't know, a whole one individual story that takes on whole hours. Hey, what do I get to use to punch a bag? I'm trying to remember which Call of Duty was it that I keep remember as being my favorite or among my favorites. It was one of the Black Ops games. I just can't remember. Was it Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2? Because I remember it was either 3 or 4. Yeah, I think it was 4, in which there was no story. It was literally all just online shooter. Basically like Fortnite and PUBG. which I thought was stupid, just absolutely stupid that they did that. But at the same time, what was it? It was one of the Call of Duty games, but I remembered the story. I can't remember which one. But the zombies mode, it was a zombie mode where you start off at a rundown bus station, essentially on a apocalyptic Earth. You're at a bus station, and you start off there, and you eventually get onto a bus that takes you to different areas, like a rundown farm that has a secret laboratory hidden underneath. Is one of the locations. I can't remember which Black Ops game that was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to this later. At least by the time the game's done installed. I should have done that. I should have just went into the game was done fully installed. 21%. Okay, that's fully installed, and that's fully installed. Oh well. I still prefer the earlier games like Call of Duty World at War. Back when zombie mode was literally just you stay at one area, or later ones like Black Ops 2, where you start off at one. You always start off at one area, but you have the option of going to other areas. Wait a minute. Settings. Dead Ops Arcade. Yeah, I wonder what this is like. I remember one that I played in the beginning, but then as the story progressed, I started to hate it because of how depressing it got, because people kept dying left and right. Was Infinite Warfare that took you all the way into outer space, where to me it was kind of cool, but again, as towards the end, where everyone, and then at the end you as well, end up among the casualties. Even your robot sidekick ends up among the casualties. And I was like, oh man, he was among the coolest of them all. Like, despite how much of a jerk everyone else except you was being to him, he was still loyal and was always by your side. Heck, even in one mission where he willingly put his own life, if you could really call it that for a robot, at risk to keep you alive. And out of that entire unit, because there was a lot of them, but out of that entire unit, there was one of the people you team up with. Can't remember her name, but she's like the only one that survived. And like I said, it was just depressing. There was another one where your character becomes a cyborg, like the very first mission towards the end. All your bones get broken, so you end up getting a new what was his name? Oh, we're about to start. Anyways, your limbs, mainly your legs, get broken. Whoa, that is loud. You get cybernetic upgrades to make you more powerful, and you can do stuff like wall run, jump higher and further, and even interface with computers. And so the story was going well and all, But then it did this stupid thing where towards the end, three members on your team end up betraying the group. So you interface into one of their minds, and upon doing so, okay, now this is actually cool. Anyways, what? Okay, so L1 does that. Oh, thanks, Blur. Kind of stupid if you ask me. Hey, I wanted that shotgun. Oh snap, they're coming in. Really? Just one hit kills you? Man, this is even more unforgiving than regular zombie mode. And yet these guys aren't so fragile themselves. Okay, so there's a limit to how many boosts you can use. Okay. Wait, really? This was in the first Black Ops? Hey, is that an actual turtle? You son of a gun! You had to take them all for yourself. I seriously do wish I could remember which Call of Duty game it was. Because again, it was one where your character becomes cybernetically enhanced, superhuman. And again, so the story starts off good, the combat is good, and all that. But then later on, it's like, I think it was like 3 members of your team, 3 members of your squad, 3 or 4 members betray you. You go after them. The first one you defeat. Well, this is interesting. The first one you defeat, she uses a mech to fight you, but then upon taking her down, you interface with her, or you go into her mind somehow, because she's also cybernetically enhanced. Then you end up back in World War II and all that. Like, it just really took me out of the main story, and I kept dying over and over again. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I in World War II? What does this event from so many decades ago have anything to do with what's going on in the main story right now? Ooh, boss. Okay, can we get to the actual fight already? Please. Yeah, World at War still, in my opinion, has the best zombies mode because it was just simple. All you do is you start off at a location and you just shoot at all the zombies around you. Black Ops 2, though, again, just it was still simple. There was really no objective other than just to survive as long as you can. But you had the added bonus of being able to go to different locations. What did I get hit by? Aw, man. Everybody keeps getting all the cool stuff. I want to have that, a cool suit of armor or mech to use. Hey, I wonder how far we are from having mechs like Pacific Rim or Ghetto Robo. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that Ghetto Robo is a cosmic horror series, then having a mech as huge as Getter Emperor, literally the size of a whole galaxy, would be pretty cool. I mean, I know the mechs, at least 2 mechs get bigger than that in Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, that being literally the mech called Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. And then there's Super Tengen Toppa, let's see, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is multi-galaxy size, or multi-supercluster size? Is that a thing? Yeah. Whereas Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is universal, or larger than the observable universe. Where the heck did the others go? Well, there he is. What's interesting is that when it comes to things like writer's intent, it's amazing how easily they can change the story. Getter Emperor is only singular galaxy size, but Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann and Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann are both larger than it. But Tengen Toppa, see, Gurren Lagann is written as an action series where you're glad to see the robots constantly getting bigger and the humans getting more powerful. You're like, oh yeah, kick-ass giant robots, we love that. But with Getter Robo, it's a horror series. So every time, like, you understand the humans are trying to survive, but knowing that what's at risk, literally the survival of the universe. It starts off as the humans being the victims and the villains, all these different creatures basically being a bunch of a-holes for what they're doing. But then by the time Getter Emperor comes into play, you start to understand why a lot of these creatures are constantly targeting humanity or going back in time to try to kill off humanity, because they're specifically trying to prevent Getter Emperor. Because the bigger Getter Emperor becomes, the more powerful he becomes. The more powerful he becomes, the faster at which he devours the universe. Steam PC gaming. Oh, Blur, man, how'd you go from PlayStation like the rest of us Sony brothers into Steam? How dare you betray the fold? I'm just kidding though. I'm really tripping about that kind of stuff. But anyways, between Getter Robo and let's see, what was it? Getter Robo and Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. So Getter Robo basically has the lower power scaling because its largest mech is galaxy size, and that largest mech, Getter Emperor, is is only it's universal plus, so singular universal universe level. Whereas Tengen Toppa has bigger mechs. Tengen Toppa, the first one, going up to multi-galaxy, and then Super Tengen Toppa going up to becoming the size of the whole universe. With Tengen Toppa being multiversal, it's not complex multiversal. So yeah, it's way more powerful. But the thing is that, like, with Gator Emperor has the potential to become that powerful, multiversal, then complex, possibly out of versal by constantly absorbing absorbing energy and matter from throughout the universe, becoming more powerful thanks to the way Getter rays work. But I like it more. It's just more interesting. Because Tengen Toppa is more straightforward. Where it's a bunch of humans, they're trying to fight back against the enemy. Thus, they refuse to let the enemy conquer them, so they become more powerful. They have to become more powerful through the use of the spiral energy. Whereas Robo, the robots get more powerful, but then you realize the humans are starting to become the cosmic threat, becoming more dangerous. Yeah, that's why a part of me would not mind too much if we were able to go back to the days if we were able to go back to the days of having memory cards. Have all our data saved to the memory card, so the next time when we play a game on another console, everything's there. How come everybody gets getting all the gold upgrades? I need to learn to use my boost so I can collect something. Ooh! Ah, dang, don't jump at me, fool. Yo, this is pretty fun in first person mode. Honestly, it works kind of better for me in first person mode. It's almost like House of the Dead, but non-linear movement. Hey, why can't the rest of the zombie mode be like this? Where the zombies go down easily, all you gotta do is just hold down the trigger and fire away. It doesn't feel like I'm using any different weapons. It seems like it's the same type of gun because it fires the same way. It seems to be the F word. Okay, so that thing's an instant kill when it starts sparking like that. Okay. It is mine. Yeah, shotgun. So wait, the bonus guns you get have a limited amount of ammo. That does not surprise me. That song. uh, I gotta admit, as far as most COD games go, this one has some actual pretty good music going for it. You know, I'm pretty sure this music that's playing is gonna get me copyrighted, but as long as it doesn't get to the point where this video, oh you jackal. What was I saying? Oh yeah, as long as it doesn't get ridiculous to the point where they demand that I take this video down, or this whole stream, just for the music, I don't trip about that. Because usually I tell people I already got a job somewhere, so that's why I don't look to YouTube to make money. Considering how much trouble you got to go through just to be able to make an actual career as a YouTuber or any kind of social media influencer, it is not worth the effort. Hey, I have more points than Frosty. I did not realize that. Adolescence Amoeba. Hey, how come any bonus stuff I get doesn't carry into the next round? Something tells me that this basically goes on forever. Oh, I had a minigun. I did not realize that. So that's what that meter on my gun was. That was the bonus gun that I had. I did not realize that. I am so mad. Oh, I hate those stupid electric towers. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You know, I remember when I was playing this earlier, and I was playing the zombie mode, the 20 round, and so it was interesting. It's the very first time I played this game, very first time I do zombies, and yet we did pretty well actually. We managed to complete the whole thing, get past all 20 rounds. Only one of the people I teamed up with, and it was another dude. He was also the only one on the team out of the four of us who had a mic beside me. But he would not stop complaining. Anytime he went down, he'd be like, "Bro, just revive me. Bro, just revive me. Come on, come and revive me." And I will agree, it is annoying how quickly the zombies could easily kill us, but they would take so long, especially in later rounds, to die. But this dude would not stop complaining at all. And it was around, I think it was around 15 or 16 that he had finally given up and just left. He just quit the team. And then the other guy who left, I don't know if it was a disconnect for him or if he just quit as well because we kept dying so many times. But the other person who was on the team, they also stayed around from the beginning, and I was glad too because they had some kind of perk that allowed them to revive me very quickly. So in the end, they and I, that other person who stayed, we managed to complete all 20 rounds and get escorted out of there by the helicopter. And all I could think to myself was, oh man, those other two should have stayed. Man, forget what I said. No wonder it is the way it is. As far as how to shoot, moving the right trigger. You know, a part of me wishes I could play the earlier Resident Evil titles right now. And I don't mean the remakes. I mean specifically the original ones. Although in my opinion, it is quite debatable which one I would... Let's see, for my main issue about Resident Evil 2 Remake is how the campaign, the stories overall, they made it so much more simpler compared to the original Resident Evil 2. Because in Resident Evil 2, the differences between A and B scenario for both Claire and Leon is so drastic. In the remake, like really anything you did, actually no, technically nothing you do in the first story has any difference whatsoever going into the B scenario. Like at the most, it's just a few items. It's mainly just a few items moving around, and that's it. Items, the passcodes. That's it. That's all. That's really changed. That's all that changes between A and B scenario. Whereas in the original, anything you did in the A scenario would have an actual effect, not just on the placement of items, but certain items or things, traps you can interact with overall, and the actual outcome of the story would change going into it between A and B scenario. At what point you meet certain characters, and another thing, in the A scenario, you don't even see Mr. X at all. He only shows up in the B scenario, so that's a cool way to surprise people. So it would have been nice if they tried to keep it that way as well for the remake. That's why out of all the remakes so far, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 is my favorite because it's basically the same story, the same guns and everything. It's mostly a graphical overhaul, but the story and the pacing is mostly the same. With just some new enemies like the red, what are they called? No, the Crimson Heads. Let's see, the Crimson Heads being introduced, as well as the extra side story of Lisa Trevor. And if I remember, there's some new guns as well introduced, so new weapons you get to use. And I don't know why, but for Resident Evil 2, I don't like how Resident Evil 2, it's always raining outside. Dang it! I got myself killed trying to get the other guy. To me, I really do think that Raccoon City would have been much better if it wasn't raining. Like I would say overall, that would be a minor detail since you spend a majority of your time inside the Raccoon Police Department. But I think, like aesthetically, it would have been more pleasing in Raccoon City if it wasn't raining. One moment. heck? Yes. Okay, last time I checked, I had a higher score. Last time I checked, I had a much higher score than who was the guy in third place? Frosty? I was at least in third place. So how the heck did that happen? That was a very weird ending. Now it's only 6 hours until I can get back to the rest of the campaign. Campaign 2. Way to put people's patience to the test. I just started thinking of Family Guy, and for whatever reason, it was, what the heck was it? It was from Family Guy, where somehow Stewie lost Rupert, his old stuffed teddy bear, and so Brian took it to a store, toy store, to get a new one, a new toy, new replacement. And so he shows off a toy gorilla to Stewie. And there was something written on it saying how if they buy a toy gorilla, they will save an actual gorilla somewhere in Africa. But if you don't buy one, they'll kill it. And Brian said, man, they're really playing hardball here. And I'm like, man, that is messed up on so many levels. Imagine trying to advertise something like that. Like, hey, buy a toy from us and we'll save this innocent creature from this other continent. But if you don't, we'll kill it. "200 eliminations with a shotgun. Maybe it'd be easier if the game would let me actually choose a shotgun more often." Let's see. Invasion of Grenada. Hey, wasn't Blur just talking about Grenada at one point? Invasion of Panama. Spanish-American War from 1898 to 18... Oh, just 114 days, okay. Whiskey Rebellion. Gulf War. Libyan Civil War. Bay of Pigs. The hell's Bay of Pigs invasion? It was a failed military landing operation on the southwestern coast of Cuba in 1961 by Cuban Democratic Revolutionary Front, consisting of Cuban exiles who opposed Fidel Castro's Cuban Revolution. Covertly financed and directed by the U.S. government, the operation took place at the height of the Cold War, and its failure influenced relations between Cuba, the United States, and the Soviet Union. Fidel Castro. Oh, they did a parody of him in Robot Chicken. Che Guevara. Guevara. They made a fictional version of him, a modernized fictional version of him in Baki the Grappler. They could still make like a fictionalized version of Fidel Castro if they wanted to. That's what's funny about Baki the Grappler. They'll take characters who in real life have long since passed away, but they'll say, screw it, we'll just make a version of them that still somewhat remains true to the original real life individual, but makes some hyper stylized version that fits the tone of Baki the Grappler. Cause man, Baki the Grappler, their stuff gets wild, man. Especially when it comes to stuff like power scaling, how those Baki versions of real life celebrities can become so strong as to be something of a match, or maybe not Baki and Yujiro himself, those two being the top individuals in the Bakiverse now, but definitely for some of the other members of the cast. Like there was one character in Baki the Grappler who, in Son of Ogre, it was when Retsu was getting a career as a box. This is when Retsu became a boxer after fighting Pickle, and in that, there was a. Well, anyways, Joe Fraser, based off of Joe Fraser, fights Retsu and manages to knock him down.
Field ops deploying an outbreak zone.
What a
work. Field ops. We've identified a crystal power node in your vicinity.
Manages to knock Retsu down at least 2 times before Retsu gets a second win and wins the boxing match. And Retsu, according to a website like Versus Battle Wiki, they had Retsu ranked at city block level. So because Joe Fraser was able to fight him and knock him down like literally 3 times, they had Joe Fraser ranked at city block level, which I thought was pretty cool.
What the actual fuck, Weaver? What's wrong, Mac? Major karma, and has been completely abandoned treatment.
Dang, he just broke through that door like it was nothing.
Medic, get over here!
Strike team. Damn it. That's another good gone.
Darn. Hmm. trying to remember which. I don't think it was Infinite Warfare. I think it was Black Ops. Was it Black Ops 3? I think it was Black Ops 3. It was some Call of Duty game that ended up becoming my longest stream ever, going for about like 7 to 8 hours, 7.5 at least.
More bad news, team. Fade levels are still increasing.
Let me put this rifle to work.
Ah! One dude's just standing there.
You gotta keep moving. You have more incoming.
Oh, it's just me and Integrate. My goodness. This would be a lot easier if that gun at least had a larger ammo count. Are you kidding me? And he just revived me. I feel so ashamed right now.
Hang on, Striker. We'll have an exfil site available soon.
Appreciate the high caliber rounds.
What the heck? Man. Like I said, very unforgiving. Basically, serving more is just a distraction for these things than an actual threat at any time. Still a lot better back when it was just your regular run-of-the-mill zombies instead of all this Spectre type stuff they keep trying to add.
Chopper en route for extraction. Good work out there.
This is gonna work.
Yeah, that's right. Still kick your ass even as I'm bleeding out to death. Stand still.
C4 prime. Throw a decoy. You really thought you had a fucking chance, huh? Yeah.
Good evac, Requiem. We're done here.
Bravo's still the strike team. Upper management sends their congrats.
Man. That is unfortunate. But that's gonna be it for now. I'll come back and stream again when this game is 100% fully installed so I can play the rest of the campaign. Zombie mode, it has its moments where it's fun, but it's like that's usually in the beginning, but it gets so complicated so quickly within the first 5 rounds, unfortunately. But constantly complaining and longing for the old days isn't gonna help either, so I have myself to blame for constantly getting nostalgic. Oh well. Maybe one of these days we'll finally get a Call of Duty with a zombies mode that gets it right like they did in the beginning. We'll see. Thank you, Blur, for tuning in and commenting, dude. As for anyone else, I just hope you all have a good day. Stay blessed.